Hi there everyone, Staffan Karl here. Still out of focus, I think, which I like because maybe it's focused now, but it should be on this little girl behind me, right? Because she's King of Spades. I don't have a clue when her birthday, but she embodies King of Spades energy, innocence and discovering the world and being a fighter. So I think it's appropriate if the camera stays on her more than on me. And then we have the spread, of course, which should definitely be seen more than me. Today we are going to study the underlying overlying cards and see how they work together, how the energy is flowing through this spread, and I don't think we're going to reveal many new things, like big revelations, but for sure it's going to confirm what I've already told in the first video, and hopefully we're going to gain deeper insights about this very, very special spread. First, let me point out a couple of things. These two cards are fixed cards, so cardinal energy, very strong cards. This in a very strong position, Jack of Hearts in Jack of Hearts position. Face card both, so very strong cards for being fixed, being face card, and this for being in the right position. And then we have two semi-fixed cards, so that's an indication of King of Spades being a very special spread, right? And then there is another thing. Before commenting on the lack of, first of all, the underlying cards in the spread itself goes from Ace of Hearts to King of Hearts. So they are hearts in their natural position. An ace and an ace, a 2 and a 2, and 3 and a 3, 4, etc. Okay. Which is another indication of how easily, that Krishna is driving their chariot, right? As I mentioned in the first video, when we learn to give up our ideas about how things should be, how things should work, what we should do. Arjuna did not want to fight. He didn't want to take the risk to kill relatives, friends, teachers. But Krishna, Shiva in the shape of Krishna. Okay, Krishna is Vishnu, but this is the Shiva aspect of Krishna. Anyway, no, you must do your dharma, So when we give up our ideals, or our fixed ideas rather, right, our dogmas, and our we get humble, right, and give up our ego and do what we do not want to do, or think that we cannot do, because we have these fixed ideas about how things should be, and gets on the train of dharma. Well, then Krishna drives our chariot, and then of course we feel really relieved, right? It's a great relief to, so wow, I actually can do that thing that I didn't want to do. Of course there will be resistance, but then again, when ego is really crushed and we understand what we have to do, then we should feel relief. So there should be an emotional motivation, King of Spades people are really emotionally motivated to do what they do, since their underlying cards are all hearts card. And that, of course, gives them an advantage, since it's all in order. It's the natural ace of natural position for every underlying card. Ace of Hearts in ace position, 2 of Hearts in second position, 3 of Hearts in third position, and so on. And now I'm going to reveal something incredible that confirms the accuracy of the whole system. that Ernst, I think, hasn't taught us yet. Maybe he hasn't realized this. I don't know. But if we look at every spread in the Jack spread, so these are going to be the underlying card for the King of, for the Queen of, for the Queen spread, right? Those positions, the Ace is going to be the first card for the overlying card of King, all the Kings, King of Hearts, King of Clubs, and King of Diamonds. And what are these cards? Well, turns out it's 9 of Spades, it's 8 of Spades, and it's 7 of Spades. And if you don't believe me, 9 of Spades, 8 of Spades, 7 of Spades in these positions, which are exactly the 3 cards that are seen in a dressed up position, if I may say so, of as King of Spades, and whose significance is the death part, the destructive part of the Spades suit. So it's giving up life, it's giving up ego, it's preparing for to leave, right? The decline, the destructive part of the Spades spread. So these cards, I guess, need a little extra help, right? By having this very strong, harmoniously lined up underlying cards. So for 9 of Hearts is the clubs. So they are being helped by having underlying card, finding out a way of dealing with stuff, right? And for 8 of Spades, which is all about saving energy, since it's a dying tree, it still has life to it, some green leaves, some green branches, but it has to be really careful with how it uses its energy. And it has the suit of diamonds from Ace to King in the right position, which is value. So 8 of Spades has that advantage to have an easy time to find value, not having to work so hard for it, right? So 8 of Spades can be really relaxed and find value anyway. And then finally 7 of Spades has Spades, the Spade suit lined up from Ace to King. So 7 of Spades has a hard time struggling with overcoming the beginning of the decline, right? It's a very tough card. They have to overcome many problems. But at least the underlying cards are Spades in the right position, which makes it easier for them. So again, confirmation of how divine this spread is, the system is, how it really, how can that happen? That exactly these 4 cards that is about overcoming ego is helped in that wonderful way. So that's quite a revelation. Now let's look at the 3 first cards, because there are interesting things going on there regarding underlying card. And also remember, I spoke about how King of Spades has this very strong ace or number 1 connotation. Every numbers that this sums up to, or by squaring and so on, I think every one of them ends up being a 1 at the end, right? And this is, and I spoke about that, the oneness, the newness of this card. And we have this strong Jack, and Jack of course sends its energy to 1, 2 and 3, since it is a 1, 2, 3, so first, second and third card. And Jack again is the position of where we shine the most. So when they are really happy being themselves and the most, like the inner child comes out of their way of being, well, that energizes these 3 cards. So that's, for a starter, tells us that this is an interesting place to start. Of course, the first, I forgot that, the overlying, the birth card itself does not have any other underlying overlying card than King of Spades itself. So this is again a fixed card, a cardinal card, like a force of nature, basically. In this case, the destructive force of nature, like a forest fire. It kills everything. But then now new life sprout out of the ground, thanks to that fire, right? It's number 13. So and now I hear there's someone speaking behind me. I have to just a moment. Okay, I have a what do we call it? The name for that relationship. My wife's daughter. I don't remember right now. She's living in the room behind me. Maybe if you heard her speaking in the phone. Anyway, so 13 here tells us that Pluto position, but I guess I'm repeating myself here, right? We'll look at that later. 1, 2, 3. Underlying card of 3 of hearts, 8 of hearts. In its original position, it stays where it is from the. I mean, it is in its natural position. Since, no, it doesn't stay where it is. It's in its natural position. So an open heart, an attitude of openness, right? Like being preparedness to connect. That's Ace of Hearts. Is the ground, the soil in which 3 of Hearts, the devotional card, an expansion in love card, sun card, is growing in, and as a result, there will be born a great capacity for dealing with stuff long term, like studying and that stuff, learning stuff. King of Clubs are really good at they're like good workers, good workers, faithful to a certain system and so on, action philosophy at a good level, very stable, very trustworthy. That comes out of this experience of devotion. Maybe that's not very intuitively, I don't know, but that is what we are being taught but for sure, if we are devoted to a spouse or children or anything, an altar, a god, a goddess, for sure we grow in our capacity to take care of that thing, right? So I guess that's how it works. And again, this Ace of Hearts is what do we call it? It's channel for the Jack of Hearts experience, as I said. So there is a strong flow here, and then this card flows over through the underlying card here, from the Jack of Clubs, of Hearts, from the 3 of Hearts here to the Mars card, Mars position, and out of that soil grows exactly what we was talking about. Being good at dealing with stuff and being good workers, being very serious about what we are doing. But now, in another position, a Mars position, who tells quite the opposite. That I don't want to do this anymore. I fly away from it, or it just crumbles. So that experience becomes irrelevant, and that seems like a contradiction, and I guess it is. But it's like a pumping heart. Here you grow in that capacity, in being a King of Clubs, being good at philosophy, good at system, good at developing. I wouldn't say skills. Skills is diamonds. It's more about understanding, for sure, understanding something. Rather that, and working hard. That's King of Clubs. So you get good at it here, out of your devotion. Like my wife, she's a natural healer. She's very devoted to her clients, to her patients, and she gets a better healer through her devotion, right? she makes a better job. But then here in Mars, the overlying card is 10 of diamonds. So now they get a skill, you know, that's skill. And as soon as the skill is there presented, you know, this experience goes away. Then it becomes effortless. And here it's turned off. So this is like growth in devotion, growth in taking care of that thing. And here it is leaving that. Stop caring, because, you know, it's becoming effortless. That's one reason. 10 of diamonds. You don't need it anymore. You have learned that stuff. You can leave it. Forget it. You have it within you now. You know. So can you see? It's again, Mars card often works like that. It's like a pumping heart. You know, on and off, on and off. You do it and then you leave it. Oftentimes energizing the whole spread. But in this case, these two cards together forms like an on and off effect regarding developing skills. This is the skills. This is developing the skills, right? You could say this is the hard work that make them develop skills. So that's interesting. 10 sends the energy over to the ecliptic card, which starts with a twin card of 10 of diamonds. It's 10 of hearts. So there is a weaker but still connection, since it's not the same spread, but it's the same suit, but it's the same number and the red same color. So there is a connection, and also it's a 10 card, right? And here they deal with life throws at them challenges. 5 of spades. They have to adapt. They have to. This is the Tom Cruise card, you know. Tom Cruise always runs away. 5 of spades runs away from enemies of all kind, all sorts. So it leads over there. And let's see. And if we are going really into detail, I'm trying to make this smaller. Just a moment. Yeah, I just got the idea that maybe I should be seen once in a while. I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but not. But now it's like that. So this is energized by the Uranus card, because there is also an ace here. 10 is a 10, but it's also an ace. 1 plus 0 is an ace, and it's all the cards. So every heart feeds into the ecliptic card. This feeds into the ecliptic card, right? And they get the experience of dealing with threatening situations, and the result is being more stable. In 4 of diamonds, right? 4 of diamonds is stability in skills, in talent, in concrete things. So this stabilize their outer life, right? The concrete manifestation of their life. A 4 flows over to the 4th position, and there is another red 4. So there is a strong force to their Mercury card. 4 of hearts being stable in emotions, and that's the soil that the 10 of spades energy is growing in. The 10 of spades is again about dealing with hardships, not with action, but through your not through actions, but through your attitude, your grit, your patience, your courage, and that kind of stuff, right? Your capacity for not needing many things, your capacity for kill your ego, all that kind of stuff. Basically being a warrior in a spiritual sense, perhaps. So and this is an ace. One of zero is an ace. So again we have this newness, and the ace is feeding over to this ace and this ace. So but that's numerology, you know. It also 10 is all the cards from 1 to 9, so it's also a 5, and it feeds the ecliptic. So there is a loop going on here. And then the overlying card is Queen of Hearts, which feeds their Neptune card, which is about finding out new ideals, trying to find out how. This is a longing card, right? I really want to. I would like to present myself to the Word, to the divine in this shape, in this form, and I would like the Word to be like this, and this is the best functionality, and not in a worldly way. Turning into Spanish here, changing into Spanish, but rather, I lost it. 9 of Clubs is about high ideals, God's vision about how the world should be, and King of Spades wants to connect with that, and it does it through dealing with problems, becoming what's a Queen of Hearts? I didn't mention that. There are 2 red hearts here, actually, up here, that both send their energy to the Neptune card, and these are mothering cards. So mother is like the caretaker. Diamond is like the caretaker card, protecting what's valuable. So I consider King of Diamonds to be the most mothering of all cards, if you take into the caretaker aspect into regard, right? We can see that in the example of, there is a Swedish actor that you may have seen if you have seen Star Wars. Pernilla August. She does the role of Anakin Skywalker's mother, and she also plays Mother Mary in a film of Jesus in Hollywood. And home back in Sweden, she's a mother for sure, to just 2 daughters. But then also Ingmar Bergman, the famous Swedish director, he wrote a very long movie for her to play his mother, and also some additional TV dramas when she played the mother of his mother, of Ingmar Bergman, right? So this is really the mother card. Pernilla August is her name. But this is also a mother. This is more like emotional caretaking, taking care of the emotions. This is like taking care of the body and everything, right? That's King of Hearts. So that's what comes of all the struggle. They become good caretakers. Among them, like my wife, who's a natural healer, she takes very good care of her patients. In both these cards, they develop the skill of taking care of people, and of course of themselves, since it's and also within. Well, no. Let's skip that. No, I was not thinking clearly there. No, but it's a caretaking card. Okay. Leading over to the Neptune card, which gives them, through the filter or the work with ideals, finding the highest functioning, like divine way of doing things and understanding things, the result will be a 6 of Diamonds. So they will gain knowledge about the word functioning at the highest, So maybe we should listen to King of Spades if they have an idea about how to improve the word, worldly matters, since this is a very intense process for them. Basically ending up here, because from here they only, okay, it's a red 6, so we can go on. 6 of Hearts, there is another 6. There is energy flowing over to the Venus card. This is about worldly stuff. This is the sixth position, and there is a 6 of Hearts. So both the number 6, the position, and the card, the fact that it's a red 6, shows that it's being brought over in the Venus card. And the Venus card is a caretaking card, you know. So they become really good caretakers, indicating that indeed King of Spades can be very, very good at natural healers and that kind of, maybe a nurse. And not that I believe much in Western medicine anymore. I think it has derailed since long, mostly. But for sure, anything that has to do with health, taking care, can be really good at that. Okay, we're going to comment on the Three of Diamonds. Well, maybe we should do it now. I was following this flow. Let's have a break from that flow, I think. No, we're going to because it's closing here, you know. We are circling back. We're going to circle back to the Neptune card after this. So, okay. Three of Diamonds is about connecting to like energy, you know. Like oftentimes for Three of Diamonds, they can be photographers, they can work with fashion, they can be really good at a stage where you have to have charisma, you know, charisma on a stage. Combination of, I mean, even cooking, you know, I have a strong Three of Diamonds, and one of my little games to improve my Three of Diamonds is to not measure the time when I boil eggs. I try to do it just intuitively, and card reading, everything that has to do with psychic capacity, card reading, working with, like, if you know, you know, that kind, you know, like, it's hard to describe. I described to one kid yesterday with a good Three of Diamond the other day, how Three of Diamonds work by looking at this picture. There are two faces here. Can you see it? I don't know. And we want to see this kid. So these faces must not be too visible, but still we want to see them. If they are too visible, we're not going to see the kid. So I have to make these faces a little darker, but not too dark. So can you even see it? I'm not sure. Yeah. So I mean, that's Three of Spades. Intuition, you know, when you work with photography, for example. Three of Diamonds, I didn't mention that yesterday. Just like Three of Hearts, it wants to become a 6 and a 9. The 3 wants to become a 6 or a 9. Six of Diamond is like a best worldly value, right? And 9 of Diamonds is the best. It's basically vibrate in the divine, very similar to 9 of Hearts that I mentioned yesterday, that the Three of Hearts wants to become. This wants to become a 9 of Diamonds, and that's like the highest vibration, okay, the highest value there is, which is basically God, right, or the divine. And out of that experience, again, the very caretaking King of Diamonds who takes care of things long term. So then it circles back, okay. So this is a loop going on here between Neptune card and Venus card. So this is where King of Spades find out the best value, connects to the best system, not value, the best system, the best thinking, the best philosophy, the best political system, the best philosophical, the best religion. I don't believe in any religion, but the best spirituality, the best spiritual system. Everything that has to do with action, inner or outer action, clubs, so philosophy, but also way of doing stuff at the very, very high level, divinely high level, right? This is like really listening to Krishna. This is really listening to Krishna, what you should be doing, you know, how you should think. And that energy brings them over to the very concrete realm of Venus, which is the best worldly. This is the best worldly position, 6, right? The highest, as good as it gets on earth, right? So that we can feed people, we can heal people, we can give them food, we can make them happy in a worldly sense. So the result of their speculation of higher philosophy and methods and so on directly leads them to put it in practice, and then that it goes around in a circle. So can you see how important King of Spades is? I mean, if you want if you want to be really realized people, you should study this spread and learn from King of Spades, or we should. Okay. So, and why did I say it circles back here? Because there is a red hearts, just like the overlying card, and it's also the queen position. Okay. Now, I never mentioned the moon card, which does not point anyway. You know, it works much like a fixed card. It's 2 of hearts as underlying card in its own natural position, and it goes back to 2 of hearts. So this reminds a lot about the fixed card, and this is the capacity for finding out new stuff and being curious and all that. But the motivation is that they are so lucky people to have gotten out of prison after 27 years, you know, like Mandela, and now they connect, as I told you, to every little thing they see. And every little thing they see makes them eager to do something, to come up with something, right? Well, you could say that it flows over to the Uranus card, and then so there is a flow going on here, right? Because Jack of Hearts is a 2. Okay. And now the 5th card is born out of their experience of dealing with their emotions, adjusting their emotions. 5 of Hearts, adjusting emotions. And that helps them to change ideas, make adjustments in their way of thinking or believing how something should be done, adjust their method for something, and they will find stability in their thinking. 4 of clubs as a result of that. So the 5 of clubs is changing new ideas, new way of doing, not new ideas, adjustment of method, of philosophy, and the result is a more it could be more dogmatic, you know, but this isn't a very dogmatic card. So since but they become sure in their way of doing things, or what they believe in, how they think. Okay. Then 7 of Hearts. Here we have another cycle. The underlying card of the 7 position, a 7 in the 7, strong underlying position, is being fed by their Rahu position. Okay, which grows in 8 of Hearts, which is self-love. So if we start with 8 of Hearts, since like it kind of starts here, it doesn't have any other indications that indicates towards 8 of Hearts. Out of this soil in the Rahu position grows the experience of accepting loss, being perfectly balanced in the experience of losing something, betrayal, and people dying, which for some people feels like a betrayal, right? Daughters disappearing, running away from us and not speaking to us in several years, which happened to my wife and happened to me actually. No, she didn't run away, but things come between us, and that's me. I'm a 5 of clubs. Let's leave that for another occasion. But overcoming heartbreak, right? That's where they find their balance, and if they do it well, they will be really balanced people, since this is the card. This is the worldly balance, right? Mercury. This is the inner, the balance, equilibrium between within and outside world, right? Our inner and outside world. So that's being fed of self-love, which is self-love, self-care, emotional self-care, feeding the 7 of Hearts experience, and it turns into Ace of Spades, which is renewal. So there we have it again, right? The renewal, which is so strongly emphasized in this spread, and that takes us over to the Saturn card, which again, it's like a freebie. There is no resistance here. They don't even have to think about the Saturn card because it only says don't bother about renewal. Of course not. They don't have to. There are so many ones hidden in the numerology with this, and this is a one in disguise. So it's a freebie. But again, the Arahu energy is going to remind them about the newness that is very natural to them, and it will become a Two of Spades, which is not needing much, not being needy, which resonates with the Mercury card because this is again 1 to 9, and among them a Two of Spades. Okay, so not needy, and this card actually flows over, motivates their Moon card further. There is a connection between those since they are twin cards, right? And then we have we're almost done, right? We have 2 cards to go. We have spoken about this and this and this and this. So Ketu card, another fixed card, stays in place. It starts in a 9th position and it ends in a 9 in the 9th position. So again, just like the Moon card, it's very similar to a fixed card. It's in such a natural place where it is, although it's a 7. But again, it starts and ends with a 9. And 7 of hearts is of diamonds is the Matrix card. You know, when Maya, the illusion of separate existence, this worldly, this matrix we are living in is starting to lose its grip on us, and we are going to be able to we start to be able to see through that and see another reality, a more divine reality, and that starts with divine love and it takes us to divine love, right? No, it takes us away from the separate existence. I have it as my Mercury card being a 5 of clubs, and you could think it's a punishment, and in many ways maybe it is. It's hard to make life work out. Many 5 of clubs seems autistic in a way. Maybe many of us are Asperger's. I think myself is an Asperger, but it's also a gift because it's also this natural knack for for spirituality, because it's hard to believe in this word, you know. It doesn't sum up, you know. I know there is something more. Well, that's 9 of hearts. Okay. Yeah. That's this energy. I mean, 9 always takes us to 9. 7 goes back to the Saturn card. But there are no other red. Well, yes. There is a red king here, and king is a 9. Kings are 7, 8, 9, and strongest in 9. So there will be energy flowing from the 9 of hearts to the king, to the. It resonates with the Pluto card to some degree because of the underlying card here, right? So that's the last card that we have to comment. It's a King of Hearts, feeding into the experience of tough love, father, you know, feeding into the experience of giving up ego, because 9 of Spades is surrender, complete surrender, capacity for being alone, and accept that we are alone here, right? Even if we are a company, we are still alone in some sense, right? And King of Hearts is a key card, I would say, a key experience for a healthy King of Spades, which is, have you had a father, or have you had some older woman like a grandmother who has this father-like energy that schools you and teaches you and limits you, like tough love, a father that actually, a traditional father who tells you what not to do, to be respectful, and teaches you about boundaries. Of course, women can do that too, but let's honest, mostly when they are older. It's not a mother's ideally, it's in most cases it's not a mother's task to do that when the kids are small, because a mother must be nurturing, and it can be very hard for a small child or for a child up to a certain age to understand why mother all of a sudden says no. And I think she shouldn't, a mother should be yes, and she can be if she has a father, a real father, who dares to say no at his side. And we might not agree on this, I don't know, but I think that the cards give me agree with me that tough love, giving up something dear to you because you prioritize something another thing in this emotional way, well, that feeds into the experience of giving up your ego, and coming out stronger, healthier, 6 of Spades, more independent, which again feeds into the loop of Venus, since it's a 6, and it feeds into the Spades, since it's a spade, the 10 of Spades, since this represents all spades. Okay, so that's the underlying and overlying cards. And then I don't think I'm going to go through the whole spread. It's going to be too long. But let's have a brief look at the numerology. I was looking at this 7, because 7s squared are 49. 49 is 13. So these 2 red cards here, the red 7s, which is like death cards in the tarot, right? Vibrates very naturally with the 13 of the King of Spades. And again, every 7 has a 4 within it, since 4 plus 9 in 49 square is 13. 1 plus 3 is 4. So stability, actually, accepting a new reality. Maybe not the one we wanted, but it's stable, right? And there is a 1, because the numbers in 7 sum up to 28, and 2 plus 8 is 10, so there is a 1 within a 7. Okay, I did the numerology of the 3s yesterday, and maybe we should just stay there, because because it will get too long. I'm curious about the Jack. Let's just do the Jack. Okay, so it's 121. That's a 4. 1 plus 2 plus 1. And if we add up the numbers, what is it? It's 9 is 45, so 55, 66. So that's 12. 1 plus, it's a 3. Okay. So there is a 3 and 4 here. Well, I hadn't prepared this. Not sure what to do about that. The 3, of course, resonates strongly with this 3. The 4 I really didn't know. It's 121, right? And that's 1 plus 2 plus 1, 4. Okay. Yeah. So there is a stabilizing 4 within here. But I leave it for there. You can play around with the numerology yourself and see if you come up with something more. That's all for now. Next video will be about the year spreads.